I'm Denise.
And I'm Paul.
And we're Part-Time Hippies. This is Blueberry. But Paul, tell us where we're driving to.
We're going to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania tonight.
We are headed up to the Finger Lakes, which is
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York. It looks like a cat has scratched the map and left some lakes. And so we are going to be going to Watkins Glen, which is a really beautiful park. And we're going to be staying there for a few days, and then we're moving up to Niagara Falls. The whole vacation will be Finger Lakes, Niagara Falls, Thousand Islands, and finally Cooperstown, New York, which has the Baseball Hall of Fame. So this is going to be a great trip, and I can't wait. Meanwhile, let's get back to the fun, and we'll see you in Gettysburg. did not turn out the way we thought it would. We thought we would be at the campground by now. We just had a motorcycle pass us on the shoulder. That tells you where we're at. I think we're outside of Washington, D.C. now. I think we're north of it, right? And what stalled us was a punctured tire. And we are really lucky because Paul was on the ball. And Paul, can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, we had a blowout, and a guy was pointing at the back of our camper, and so we pulled to the nearest town, and there happened to be a discount tire there, and we got a new tire at Discount Tire.
And that's the short and sweet version of it. What he's not telling you is what we had to go through to get that. Anyway, we, after trying 4 different sources, we couldn't find people to help us, even though we had paid for people to help us. And so now, Paul drove, we had stopped at Walmart, and then Paul drove a half a mile from Walmart to Discount Tire. And we spent the whole afternoon, because they were very busy, waiting for them to fix it. And then when they got it fixed, they put on the wrong tire. And so then we had to wait again for them to put on the correct tire, although it wasn't quite as long, because they closed at 5, but they worked after they had closed to right their wrong, so that we would have the correct tire. So now it is, what time is it? It's 6:49, almost 10 till 7, and we are supposed to be at Gettysburg Battlefield Holiday KOA. It looks like it says 9:03 p.m.
And it should have been 2 o'clock.
And it should have been 2 o'clock. So I guess the lesson we learned is don't be so rushed that you don't think about your emergency things, because we had already prepared to change a tire if we had to, because we had the right kind of jack, but we forgot the charger for the battery charger for the impact wrench. And so that was the problem, and that's why we had to find somebody that could help us. So one thing we learned is to make sure that you practice changing a tire before you go somewhere. Tomorrow we have a sunset cruise scheduled, and if this had happened then, we would have missed our cruise. So we are very blessed that we did not get in a wreck, and we are very blessed that all it cost us was the tire. Could have cost us a lot more. So prepare for emergencies, and remember, safety always comes before time. Let me tell you a little bit about the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes are a group of 11 long, narrow, roughly north-south lakes located directly south of Lake Ontario in an area called the Finger Lakes region in New York. This region straddles the northern and transitional edge of the northern Allegheny Plateau, known as the Finger Lakes Uplands and Gorges ecoregion, and the Ontario Lowlands ecoregion of the Great Lakes lowlands. The geological term for Finger Lake refers to a long, narrow lake and an overdeepened glacial valley, while the proper name for Finger Lakes goes back to the late 19th century. Cayuga and Seneca Lakes are among the deepest in the United States, measuring 435 and 618 feet, with bottoms well below sea level. Though none of the lake's widths exceed 3.5 miles, Seneca Lake is 38.1 miles long. It's the largest in total area. The 11 Finger Lakes from west to east are Consas Lake, Hemlock Lake, Canada's Lake, Honeoye Lake. Here's a doozy. Canandaigua Lake, Keuka Lake, Seneca Lake, Cayuga Lake, Owasco Lake, Chanateles Lake, and Atisco Lake. And this is, of course, according to Wikipedia, it kind of gives you a basis of what the lakes look like. At first, when we went on the cruise, I really thought, oh no, this guy is going on the wrong side of the lake and we were not going to get to see a beautiful sunset. But then he turned and did a U-turn, and this is what we're seeing now. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Just enjoy looking at it for a few moments. Just what we needed.
Here we are, and the vents are going strong because we just got through with our hike in Watkins Glen State Park. We just did the Gorge Trail, and let me tell you a little secret. Unless you are really, really young and fast, if you want to take your time and get some good pictures, take the shuttle. At the very, very bottom of the gorge on 10th Street, there is a welcome center, and you can go to the welcome center and park your car, and then rather than starting the gorge trail there, have a shuttle take you all the way to the top of the trail. And that will also be another visitor center, and you can start from there. The shuttle only costs $6 per person, and believe me, if you are kind of in the shape I am in, wish I could say better of myself, but let me just say a one-way hike was much more enjoyable than going back and forth. It was about a mile and a half, Paul? I think a mile and a half hike the whole way, so you would have gone 2-3 miles if you would have gone both directions. So it was really, really wonderful. And now for the gorge hike.
Wow.
You've all seen in the opening montage the wonderful artists that are exhibiting at the Corning Museum of Glass. But my favorite exhibit is De La Torre brothers, who give us a retro perspective. Now these are living artists that have come from Mexico and also live in the United States. And they look back in time about what it is like to live on the border. I'm going to read to you what this exhibit is all about. And I may go on with the displays as I am reading. You will see the names of the displays and the year they were made as I read this description. Kaleidoscope De La Torre Brothers Retrospective is a traveling exhibition that was organized by the Cheech Marin Center for Chicano Art and Culture at the Riverside Art Museum and curated by Celine Preciato. Now keep in mind that Cheech Marin, for those of you who remember the comedians Cheech and Chong, he was half of that comedic team. Support for the national tour has been generously provided by the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Latino. The brothers De La Torre wished to dedicate this exhibition to Daniel Saxon and Channing Chase. Both guys were born in Guadalajara, Mexico in 1963 and 1960 respectively, but they have navigated life on both sides of the border since they were very young. Due to their binational and bicultural background, their work has been interpreted through the lenses of border art and Chicano art for the past couple of decades. The brothers use an array of materials and techniques that range from glass blowing to the more recent practice of lenticular printing, signaling an appreciation of traditional crafts as well as an interest in technology and popular mass-produced objects. And this was written near the display. As you can see, these exhibits all show a three-dimensional quality, whether it is a three-dimensional model or a three-dimensional printing. I find it very fascinating. I find it very intriguing because it really makes a statement about life on the border. And I hope that it gives us pause to think about what is happening at our border right now and to have some empathy for people that are trying to have a better life and trying to have some dignity and humanity. Of course, nothing can make me feel more at peace and more human than the sound of falling water. This is just by a roadside park in Ithaca, New York. You are looking at Ithaca Falls, which is right inside of a city park, a roadside city park, and it's a must visit when you go there. And while you are looking at falls and you are visiting Ithaca, you might as well go and see Chiquagua Falls. Paul was nice enough to take these pictures in the rain.
Science is happening because you had the ice cream came hanging off the edge of the glass and then you had to put it in.
That's right.
Ooh, look at it. It's bubbles are moving up. Ooh. And I got a, what was this called? Mint chocolate something? Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Watch what you wrote in here.
And yours is a root beer float. I'm getting video of you taking a selfie.
That's a good selfie.
Ithaca, New York is the home of Cornell University, and we are visiting the Cornell Botanic Gardens. Now, you will see two parts of the gardens in this video. The first part you will see is the wildflower garden, followed by the arboretum. So join me in a walk through the Cornell Botanic Gardens, starting out with the wildflowers. After Cornell Botanic Gardens, we continued on our journey to the Newfield covered bridge, which was between Ithaca and Watkins Glen, where we were staying at Watkins Glen State Park.
So this is Paul driving through the tunnel created by the covered bridge, and we just had to stop by and see it just for the nostalgic purposes. Here in wine country at Wagner's, and Paul is getting ready to try some wines. That's number 4. We're going to go backwards. He is trying a Cabernet Franc, and number 3 is a Pinot Noir Grace House. Number 2 is a sparkling Riesling. And number 1 is a dry rosé of Cabernet Franc. So we'll make sure that we swish these really, really well. And Paul, you can tell your favorite and I will tell my favorite, okay?
Okay.
I have tried all 1, 2, 3, 4 of the wines right now at Wagner's Vineyards. And no surprise, if you know me, guess what? I picked the sparkling Riesling. Of course, I love sparkling wines. This one had a nice fruity taste, and Paul is more of a red wine guy. But the sparkling Riesling is really refreshing if it were a hot day. Just right, not too dry, not too sweet. I like them kind of in the middle or more on the dry side. And I really tend to like white wines better than red. So I choose the sparkling Riesling, and now it's Paul's turn.
And we brought our little girl with us today, Blueberry, who's been enjoying the deck.
Yes, she said she wanted to go. Okay, Paul, which one do you like the best?
I like number 1.
Number 1, the pink? That is a dry rosé of Cabernet Franc. So that's surprising.
This is the one I like the best.
Over the reds?
Yes.
Well, that's why I love being married to you, Paul, because you always surprise me. Yay! We are in Seneca Falls, New York, visiting the Women's Hall of Fame, where they have recognized national celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, and many others. The scrolls that you see on the first floor, they list all of the women that have been inducted in the Hall of Fame, including Ruth Ginsburg,
and others. Denise Harrison created these quilt squares to tribute to the black activists, especially the women black activists that made freedom possible during the times of abolition. But I also love the yarn and the knitting needles because this is the third building that the Women's Hall of Fame have been in or has been in, and it also reminds us of abolition because they only used wool to make their material. They would not use cotton because they opposed slavery. So Denise Harrison has really done an outstanding job remembering those activists and also honoring the building itself.
Now every new day is a new fire. Until my teeth call me a liar. Building as you rip, someone show me someone living of desire.
Here's a way that Deanne Eisner used her needlepoint craft to make a point. And the poem is America is a Gun by Brian Bilston. England's a cup of tea, France a wheel of ripened brie, Greece a short squat olive tree, America is a gun. Brazil is football on the sand, Argentina Madonna's hand, Germany an oompa band, America is a gun. Holland is a wooden shoe, Hungary a ghoulish stew, Austria a kangaroo, America is a gun. Japan is a thermal spring, Scotland is a Highland fling. Oh, better to be anything than America as a gun.